If anybody else wants to touch it, feel free. It feels like rock.
Are we going that way?
Give a shit factor.
Decide that everyone who plays online has shit like this happen all the time. Welcome to RollQ, where super nerds with questionable accents tell a great story. I'm your GM Q, so grab your dice and let's roll. Seriously, hurry up. I can't stand to wait. Come on. But first, last time, our party imagined a future without Cormac, who had gone missing in the mist. They also had to confront the loss of Rev Samal. On that trail, they reached an area that is uncomfortable, and they spied some sort of trap in the middle of the road. As they proceed around it, and Gummer clearly marks it, one of the vines reaches out to try to grab Gummer. But before we roll initiative, Cormac, as you follow the light through the mist, leaving Baba Lysaga's hut, that light suddenly vanishes. You cannot see anyone, you cannot hear anyone. What do you do?
I first will just say Valo and light one of my rings with the light spell just to see if that does any good to light around me.
As you cast light with the ring, it sort of lights the immediate area around you, but somehow this light spell going into the mist at this moment almost reflects back at you. So it almost makes it worse. As though seeing your frustration, you feel shadows begin to move in the mist, and they begin to surround you. Probably at about 20 feet away, encircling, not coming closer.
Put my hand in my pocket just to block out the light for a moment. See if I can peer any deeper into the mist that.
Go ahead and make a perception check as you try to count how many shadows these are.
It is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. If they have not moved, and they seem not to be, you count exactly 17 shadows that are currently surrounding you. Unbidden, a swirl of gargoyles appear around you, between you and the shadows. And one says, "We are here, Cormac."
Good. I won't deny. I thought perhaps those shadows were you, but no. I suppose not. What are they? What are you?
As though responding to your question, the shadow directly in front of you takes a step forward. As it does, your gargoyle launches against this shadow, and the moment it hits this shadow, it evaporates as though it was never there.
Which one?
The shadow will look... the one right ahead of you.
I mean the shadow or the gargoyle?
The shadow remains. The gargoyle... Oof.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. And the shadow speaks and will say, "Are you still out of control, Cormac? After all, the ones you hated are dead."
That itself was a lack of control. I did not mean for that to happen.
Their death, Cormac, was not a tragedy. It was necessary. They would have held you back. They would have given their entire lives to hold you down, to keep you in the dark, to tame your mind. But now, you are free to fulfill your destiny. The knowledge you seek is at your fingertips. As this happens, a familiar shadow, one you've dreamt of before, steps forward. Faithful shadow hound at his side. As that shadow steps forward, you feel the amber shard in your pocket, the one that you took off the body, the one that was given to you off the body of Isaac Strahd, and he seemed to burn and become heavier. Shadow looks again and says, "It is not just at your fingertips now. It has been for some time. The amber shard around your neck, the one you've worn for years, also begins to glow and also becomes heavy. And another shadow steps forward, this one smaller than the rest, and it's the darkest shadow of all. It's as though it's a shadow of itself, a shadow of a shadow. It raises a single hand to its side and points. An impossibly long finger, the finger longer than the arm itself. The middle shadow speaks again. We wait to serve you, Cormac. We see the strength that your father and your brother did not, the strength they feared. There are none who know more than we about this land, and we can teach you everything. We can even teach you to defeat the greatest enemy of all, the one who stole the ancient powers of old and twists them to his will, the one who seeks to spread his dark disease and hatred. We will offer you this knowledge when you need us most."
I would know what you offer, but only so that the only knowledge I have sought is so that I may know how to do something worthwhile with this danger that I have created or attracted. It is not for me.
You have seen how the knowledge we have can deal with these creations. Shadow will lift hands and just sort of very smoothly go like that. And the gargoyles, almost with little stone screams, just boom, 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 all completely gone. It's just you and the shadows now.
So just
you should accept this knowledge. Should you choose not to, we shall give our power to another. We can, you know. There are many who would wish this knowledge. He raises its hands again and this time flicks them backwards. As it does, the amber shard around your neck flies off your neck out into the mist. The other one flies out of your pocket, and most strange, the book that you took from the gallows speaker, the book that is still locked, the book that is fastened securely in your knapsack. The knapsack flies open and the book flies. Do not feel you need to decide now. Think on it. We will wait for a time. Now, I think it's time we got you back to those you must use. Your decision is simple. Not easy, perhaps, but simple. The shadow ahead of you spins away and turns back into the ball of light. The other shadows seem to step back, and the ball of light now sits in front of you larger than ever it was, as though it is shining just for you.
And that's all I can see, I assume.
The light starts to slowly move away from you.
How do I give you my answer?
The light continues to pull away from you. There is no sound. There is no reply.
And we were following the light before all of that, right? Yeah.
This is the identical light. Looks just the same.
Tentatively, perhaps, but I will walk after it.
You walk after it, tentatively at first, then becoming more confident and being more aware of how alone you are. You suddenly hear the sound of voices, familiar voices. And you follow this light and you step out. But first, back on the trail to the winery, as the vine Blight snaps out towards Gummer, it is time to roll initiative, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so exciting. Didn't have any idea that was coming.
This is the trap that Gummer outlined all the way around. It is your turn first, Oksana. The vine Blight which reached out for Gummer is right there. And it really is just a long vine that has lurched itself out, reaching for Gummer. Do you think these are plants that have been magically animated?
Since she's so close, she'll just snap. I will cast Eldritch Blast and attempt to hit that thing. That is 22 to hit.
22 hits.
For 6 force damage. I would like to use the second to hit the same thing. It's an 11.
11 misses.
Okay. She will move here. End of turn.
After her 2 Eldritch Blasts, Oksana moves up the road. The Vine Blights go now. This one is going to reach out for you, Gummer. Gummer, that is a 22 to hit. Minimum damage. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. However, you are grappled.
Did you say you were hit audibly?
Yes.
Yeah, with the 22. Yeah.
The Vine Blights don't move quickly, and with grapple, they move even more slowly. But pulling you, Gummer, that's all the movement it has, it's going to drop you into that pit. You guys see Gummer fall directly through the leaves and then hit the bottom. Gummer, from the 20-foot drop, you will take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. But more importantly, as you are dropped into this pit, a wooden spike impales you almost directly in the midsection. It impales you somewhat deep, and you take 13 points of piercing damage. And you are stuck. That is the first Vine Blight's turn. This Vine Blight, it will try to grab Muriel and do the same thing. That is 14 to hit Muriel, which is a hit. Muriel will take 5 points of bludgeoning. So Muriel just teeters on the edge of this, as it can only pull her. It's half speed with the grapple, and it only moves 20 feet. I move 5 to get there, and I move 1 square for 10, but I can't move another square for 5. So Muriel is literally going like this at the edge of the pit, and she remains grappled. Vine Blight number 3 is going to reach out Oksana and attempt to snap you. Oksana, that's a dirty 20 to hit.
Hits.
Oksana, that is 8 points of bludgeoning damage. You are grappled.
Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
She'll just put her hands up. Green flames fly up, and it needs to make a dex saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. That is a 7.
12 fire damage.
Still grappled. It can only move 10, this Vine Blight, and it's going to shoot its vine right past Irina. Like, right, almost like literally between Irina's legs as she goes like that. And it's going to try to snap Silith. There's a 13. That does not hit Silith. So Silith is able to sort of pivot away and sort of almost do not a jump, but almost like a 1 foot, then another foot jump as this Vine Blight tries to reach out and grab her. The 5th Vine Blight will try to grab Muriel. So 16. That hits Muriel. It's 10 points of bludgeoning damage. It will get itself in position to pull her on the next turn. Okay, Irina's turn. Irina will whip out the rapier and try to stab Vine Blight number 4. 23 will hit 4. 6 points. Irina, feeling very confident that nothing's going to attack her. She's going to try to block that Vine Blight from pulling Oksana. That's her turn. Silith's turn now. Silith is going to, seeing Gummer pulled into the pit, she's going to cast Sacred Flame. This Blight, that Blight rolls a 3, a failure, 4 points. Closer to this one, maybe try to do something about Muriel. That's her turn.
Gummer screams in pain, and like a gout of blood comes out of his mouth as something inside him is punctured. But I think in the moment he's more worried about Muriel than anything, because she seems to be the least hardy of the group. So he is going to cast Misty Step, and then he is going to run.
I would say the Vine Blight cannot take an attack of opportunity without letting go. It does not let go.
This may not do much to it, but he wants to try and get it away from the edge. So he is going to cast Thorn Whip. That is a 22 to hit.
You bet.
For 8 piercing damage, and it is pulled 10 feet towards me, which I assume would also mean that Muriel is pulled 10 feet closer to me. But that's your call.
This Vine Blight, the Vine Blight 3 also has a hold of Muriel, so we're going to split the difference. We're going to move Muriel 5 towards you. Because this Vine Blight is pulling backwards on her, because she's grappled by both.
So that's his turn.
Muriel is going to whip out her short sword. she's going to make 2 attacks against number 2 and a natural 20. So the natural 20 does 6 plus 5 plus 2, 13. So while she misses with the first one, she's then able to quickly recover, and she just reaches down and hacks the vine blight right next to her. And as it splits, you see it kind of wiggle around, and it stops moving. You're still grappled by vine blight 5, cannot move. All right, that's her turn. Oksana, your turn.
Okay. Can I make a case for something?
Oh, you'll love to hear it.
So, I don't want to use another pack slot, but I think this would be fucking cool. Am I grappled?
You are. You're grappled by number 3.
So,
Attacks on other vine blights are a disadvantage, but vine blight 3,
is it
no issue.
possible to thunderstep?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. She's not close enough to grab Scylla. Does she need to ask Arena? I mean, they have to be a willing participant, but I mean, Arena.
Irina ran to get between you and the pit.
Okay.
So if you reach out your hand, she will take it. So yes, she's in.
Would she take the damage of the thunderstep if I left her?
No, I think so.
It's something like every creature within 5 feet or
Yeah.
every creature within 10 feet of where you left.
Okay. She would like to thunderstep, taking Arena with her, although she would have left her in hopes that she would have helped Scylla, but it is what it is. All right, so she's going to cast thunderstep.
Number 3 failed. Number 4 passed.
That's thunder damage of 12. That's my turn, I think.
As this thunder booms, this vine blight gets completely bashed, and the thunder blows it apart.
12.
12. So then number 4 will take 6. So it gets blasted too, but it is still wiggling around. It's hard to see, but as you sort of look up and see Gummer next to you, the mist parts and Cormac appears out of the mist. And it is Cormac's turn.
Oh, there I am.
There you are.
There I am. I was looking at the wrong part of the map. He's confused, but I think there's probably chaos enough to relatively snap into action. Pull up the diamond ring, flick it until it phases to red, and flick it again, Kakuvavari, and send a 2nd level chromatic orb first at the one nearest him, just because it's closest and jumps into view. It's going to be a 17 to hit.
A 17 will hit.
23 fire, and 2 of those are 7s, so it will jump toward Vine Blight 1.
Vaporize this one completely.
The mist did something.
I did
Confidence.
pretty well with this before we left with the werewolves, but nevertheless, that's going to be higher, 21 to hit Vine Blight 1 on the jump.
Yes, indeed.
24 fired.
You vaporize both of them. You guys barely see Cormac come out of the mist, but then you see this fiery orb which grows and grows, and it smacks one in blind and then seems to bounce to the other, vaporizing that one completely.
With just what I have left, I'll kind of walk a few more steps that direction. I'm not worried about measuring because I'm not trying to go my full distance, but just, are we going that way? Well, this. That's all I got.
Highlight number 5. Yeah, too dumb to know it's alone. Going to try to snap Scylla again.
Can it grapple more than one person?
No.
Just making sure.
No, it cannot.
I mean, if it lets go of Muriel to do that, I am totally fine. But
No, it doesn't. Although, it does make it a little more difficult, but I actually think, because it can't go through Scylla, I don't believe. Yeah, it's going to get to there. And that is going to allow it to drop Muriel into the pit. 4 points of bludgeoning. 16 points of piercing. She lands right on her back, and 2 of these spikes blast through her, and she goes... In this case, sort of, she's crying out, which is actually good. That is absolutely all that Vine Blight can do. Actually, I'm not sure it is. So it moved. It's a free action to release a grapple. All right, it gets to swing again. I already rolled to swing at Silith and I missed. So when I thought I knew what I was doing and I didn't. So we're going to call that done. Okay, that is the Vine Blight's turn. Rita will move just here for line of sight. That's 23 to hit. 4 points of piercing. She's actually going to move up. She's going to get to here and see if there's anything she can do to help Muriel on her next turn. If there is one. Okay, that's her turn. Silith's turn now. Silith's going to cast Toll the Dead. So that is a wisdom save, 15. It's a 9. And then it's 2d12 at this level, 13. So she completely rings the bell of this thing. And it looks for a minute like it's about to come apart, like the Thunderstep one did, but it manages to hold itself. Silith just looks down imperiously, absolutely does not move. Gummer, your turn.
Gummer, realizing how short he had, no pun intended, how short he had been with Muriel on their trip, uses his full movement to get to the edge of the pit. And he says, keep talking, tell us all about your mom. And he's going to cast Healing Word at her for 9 healing.
As she starts to watch you use your hand, she goes, "No, it's okay. She's going to tell you not to cast it. You can certainly do so anyway.
Oh, okay. He'll give it to himself then.
There you go.
But he'll trust that she knows what she's talking about. The existing Vine Blight does not have anyone grappled, right?
It does not.
Then he's going to reach down to one of the dead Vine Blights and grab one of its appendages, and he's going to use that to cast Thorn Whip on that one. That's a dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
It's only 4 piercing, but it does get pulled 10 feet towards me, which I think should put it right into empty space.
Sure does. The Thorn Whip wraps around. It's almost like around the vine and yanks it, and it almost seems to yank it clear out of the ground, and sure enough, it falls right down. You snap it in half with the Thorn Whip, and both the pieces come down and sort of spike themselves. You guys are out of combat. Muriel, still impaled, will say, I didn't really want to tell you guys this soon. She's going to kind of close her eyes, put her arms out, and she polymorphs into a raven. A raven with blue tail feathers.
What a shot.
And she's going to fly right out. She will land here. And she will turn back into herself. And flutters just over Arena's head. And as it starts to land, it turns back into Muriel. And she stands up, kind of dusts herself off. Gummer and Oksana, you would all be close enough to see that Muriel's wound is starting to stitch itself together. Slowly.
Because of the timing of Oksana's Thunderstep and the fact and where Gummer was around the corner, did we not see Cormac show up?
Don't know that you saw Cormac, but you would see a very, very familiar orb flying through and then not only hitting one thing, but bouncing to the next. But I would say maybe you're not 100% positive.
I'm hesitant to do it, but I can't imagine not doing it. Cormac is going to kind of rush sort of the rest of the way up to where everybody kind of is. I guess I can see the pit and not throw myself in it like a moron. But he doesn't, not that characters ever know you're out of combat, but Cormac really doesn't know we're out of combat because he rushes up and looks around and says, "Where's Sam? Have they taken him into the woods?" Yes, I don't know where we are at all, but...
Are you some sort of imposter? Because I'm not in the mood for it.
No. Right, obviously, I was...
Where were you? We looked for you.
Well, that mist coming out of Babala Sagas was, I don't know, felt labyrinthine, but really I was just... I was nowhere, I think. In the mist itself, perhaps? Is that what happened?
Maybe it was lavitrine, but you've been gone a day.
What? Well, yes, obviously this is not the same place. You would have taken some time to get wherever this is.
We found your book and all that on your pillow. We thought you'd gone.
Those things were stripped from me by something I confronted in the mist.
Sam's gone.
Where are we? What?
We're on our way to the Wizard of Wines.
Right.
Sorry, I want to make sure that I am giving room to Oksana, who yelled at someone for trying to sit in Cormac's chair last session.
I think she's speechless. Shocker. I think she will look at him, cast prestidigitation, for he probably already looks perfect, but should he not cast prestidigitation and start walking toward the direction for which we were going? Say nothing. Not mad. She's not mad.
I feel, not that I could pass the time that passed for me, but it seems less than what you have experienced, I would say, and so it is. I have not been without you as long as you seem to have been without me. I'm still happy to see all of you.
You get over here.
All right.
Muriel, having healed all the way up at this point, will say, who's a purple guy? Nice suit.
He's one of us. When he makes his way around, Gummer is going to hug him, which, considering their size difference, might be slightly awkward.
Crouches. He has just enough presence of mind to crouch enough to make it slightly less awkward.
He gets another hug.
Not highly successful.
He can add that to his notes.
I'll have to write it down later.
Sam's gone. Lathander called him away or something.
Well, what happened to me? I assume Lathander didn't appear to call me away from your perspective, but perhaps he shall return as I have.
Seemed pretty permanent. And he'll reach up and show the holy symbol of Lathander that is currently around his throat.
Not wanting to address the elephant in the room, ask her patron, is this considered dead body?
I've done some flower arranging in my time. Yes.
All right, Oksana will get to work and start to create some form of artistic expression utilizing vines.
Irina will walk up to you, Gummer, and she'll put her hand on your shoulder and she'll say, should we take a break? Half an hour's not going to kill us.
We should.
All right, but if Muriel's going to talk somebody's ear off, it's going to be yours then.
As you say that, you see that Muriel is very interested in what Oksana's doing.
How could she not be?
So, what you doing there?
Taken aback by her interest, considering she was the most annoying person on the road. Oh, this is my amazing artwork. I shall show you. Over here, I use first vine that attack Gummer. And then I'm putting it across here, tying it in a little bow, just in case, like, I don't know who, if it's Strahd or if it's some mist, Ezra, I don't know. I'm going to tie it in a nice birthday bow. And this is a lovely demonstration of murder art. Thank you.
Why are you doing that?
It is, I do a thing that is special, and I consider it art. Honestly, there is a little man inside my head. He is creepy, and this is what he wants to do in order to keep me alive.
Why do you have to do what the little man says?
Because he saved my life, and he will otherwise create a lemur out of me. It sucks.
What's a lemur?
Something awful. I'm not really too sure, but it is like slime goblin. I don't know. I have no concept. Just know I don't want to be one.
Like, is it going to change? Like, I changed it to a raven and back. It's going to change you into that? Like, you'll still be here, but you'll be that? Or what?
No. I believe I will cease to exist, no longer have the fashion that I have, nor the ability to, make human relationships or anything fun like that.
So, you have to do this?
I don't want to.
But you're going to die if you don't do it?
Well, worse than death. But yes.
How do you know?
Because I have had a dream that the little man, I believe, gave to me, saying this is what you have to do. However, I spoke with some men. Do you know Casimir?
Yeah.
Well, I spoke...
Dusk Elf.
Yes. The very old person that lives... famous, I'm sure. He said that the only way to get out of my pact would be to embrace faith, and clearly I have been rejected because Sam has left, and I would imagine that Lathander does not want him around me.
Wow. So how do you know a little man's not lying? He could be lying to you in a dream, right?
I do not want...
Once I dreamt I was an ugly wolf. It doesn't mean I was Isaac Strasny.
I will come back to this. I do not want to tempt him or try him or... Yeah.
Well, have you seen... Is a pact written down somewhere? Like a contract?
I have not considered this. This is good idea that I should probably think about in my character's backstory. But yes.
I if it was me, I'd want to see it. He might be lying. Like, what if you don't do it and nothing happens?
I like this. I will ask. Should I ask now? Or I'm getting the sense from you that you are saying that I did not handle this pact situation very well. I was bleeding out alone. So I really didn't have time to, negotiate on paper or parchment or whatever it is. But yes, I will ask him. In the interest of time, though, should we...
Yeah, I mean...
Little man.
I just...
Where is this
What?
contract? Yes, I know you are probably at the spa or something in the back of my mind. Where is said contract?
I have it here. It is in a file.
I would like a copy of said file.
Why? Would you want that?
Well,
It's a bunch of small print red tape.
Yes, of course. But my new best friend here, Muriel, she is wanting to help me make sure that I make good.
I mean, I'm just telling you, you're making good on your end of the bargain.
So far, but
Doing great.
I think it would be better if I had a bit more understanding of your power over me. Can I persuade?
A lawyer?
I have no idea. I just met her. She just became new best friend.
Make a persuasion check.
25.
Man in your head pauses, but you can still feel that he's there. Might take me some time to find it. A big file cabinet, and my assistant's been on vacation. But I will find it, and the next time I talk to you, we'll go through make sure every T is crossed and I is dotted. And
I feel that this is only right, that until I see copy of contract and pact, I do not need to do any more art. for you. Only for me.
Yeah. No, I think that seems completely fair. Totally fair. I will get a copy of that contract. Lickety split.
Can I?
He's gone.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I check his earnestness? But
You can make an insight check based on what he just said, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
There is so much to unpack in that conversation.
I rolled a nat 1, so 7. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Well, he is gone, Muriel. We are going to work out something. He is not requiring this activity until he will bring contract to show me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's good. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't like to see people get taken advantage of. I've signed a bad contract or two in my time. But that's a story for another day. Shall we go?
Gummer, while this is going on, and I'm sorry, Joe, if you have something. Gummer is looking in the pit to see if there are any other bodies. Anybody who may have fallen prey to this before they got here.
You look down. Doesn't look like it, unless they've been moved. Nothing down there now.
Are these creatures intelligent enough to have built a trap?
Make a nature check.
13.
Probably not. You get the feeling that these once were, they're very convincing. But probably these were once just vines, and they have been enchanted in some way. But in terms of being smart enough to build the trap, not a chance.
I think he probably has one. I'll check. Yeah, he has torches. He would, whatever Oksana's not using for her art at the moment, he would dump into the pit, and then he wants to set it on fire.
Dump the vines into the pit. Spikes are made of wood as well.
And that was his hope.
The vines.
Hopefully they'll burn down and not be a hazard to anyone.
As the vines burn, you definitely see that the spikes have caught.
He'll bring up his thought process to everyone else. These things seem brainless. There's no way that they built a pit and then tried to lure people into it or drag them into it. And you yourself, Muriel, said that it wasn't here 2 or 3 days ago when you came to Vallaki, so...
I've seen a lot.
I think Cormac has just sort of been sitting on a rock, kind of just hands on his knees, kind of looking at everybody during some of the conversation and pit cleanup. And we'll just jump into the conversation with that stuff. And so, is it a major road then? I mean, it seems about as substantial as most we've tracked. I don't really know exactly where we are. It's not, in other words, is it just a barrier to general travel? Or are only certain folk going to be using it?
Wine shipment seems to be about it.
Right, okay.
I don't mean to interrupt. Sorry. I just would like to say that I need a short rest. So if we are going to talk here or later, I just would like to plan for this. She's intentionally interrupting Cormac.
Irina will say, I mean, I still think we can take another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. It's only about 4:30.
It's fine by me.
So, mechanically speaking...
Oh, I was only going to, and it's not something we then actually need to talk out in character. It's up to anybody, but like, just ask, like, okay, so did you deal with Kresk? Are we on a diversion from that? But, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Irina, leaning on a rock near the rock that Cormac was leaning on, will say, I think we should tell him about the book.
Right. The book left by the gallows speaker. that you had that ended up on your pillow. Went to Victor about it. He was able to remove whatever spell was locking it. And then some ingenious person decided to break that lock. And we opened it and read it. And it seems to be Strahd's journal. And he'll hand it over.
Not only a day, but a full one. Spoken to Victor. All right. But as soon as a book is given to him, he's reading the book.
The gist of what you read on the first page is Strahd is talking about what he's done and why he's done it. Probably the most useful thing for you is he does say that there is, in fact, a sort of sunlight and that he is, in fact, afraid of it. Following that, there is a bunch of diagrams, strange-looking things. There is language that is very obviously a complicated cipher. And there is one word that is written in common a few times, you see. Exithanter.
And then there's a drawing of a crystal heart.
Yes, shaped like a heart, almost has an aorta right there, but it does seem to be made of crystal. It's a good drawing.
While they're discussing it, Gunnar would also, from separate pockets, take out the two shards of amber and hold them out to Cormac.
I don't know. Perhaps as with Sam's holy symbol, those are safer in your possession. Although not so much time seems to have passed, I was not entirely alone in the mist. Felt alone, but because, well, actually, the gargoyles were there and they didn't seem quite so malevolent. Some other shadows, similar to what I have confronted other times recently, approached me. Offered me quite a bit of power, the way they say it. They're the ones who took away the book and both of the pieces of amber, and so I wonder if they are linked to it. They seem very, very desirous of my accepting this power, but they also put it in such a way, look, there's their natural inclination to assume there's some sort of catch to it, but also it seems quite clear they see me as using all of you, and that is by far the biggest strike against whatever they're offering. I might just as soon keep my distance from them for at least the time being.
Are they best separated, do you think?
Interesting. Some substances do magnify in power if they are gathered together. It would take some time to be sure, but it seems a reasonable precaution.
Oksana, do you want to take one of these?
I can.
I appreciate it. It may very well be my burden, but I need to think a bit.
Which one are you giving her?
I think he's going to give her the one on the leather cord or whatever. The one that was around Cormac's neck.
Very good.
And I'm sorry, so just to be clear, we have 3 shards? I also didn't know because almost everything about that house kind of evaporated to nothing. So I didn't know if it was still with us or not.
The amber shard would not have evaporated. It is still with you.
Then remembering how horrific that house was, I think he would give it to Silith.
She'll take it and say, "Is this a gift?"
I'm lending it for safekeeping.
I will take it as a gift. Thank you very much. Please do not ask for it back. It is now mine. Irina will walk over to you, Oksana, and she kind of turns her back so that only you can sort of see and hear. And she says, "Are you all right?" She kind of gives you that look.
Is it a look that's like, I should tell her what I'm thinking? Or...
It's the "Are you and Cormac okay" look. You can talk to me about this if you want look.
So, I'm going to let, above table, I'm going to let you guys know of the process. If you will accept my processing, The last private interaction that she had with Cormac was the rooftop, where she took too much of his fear. And so she has thought the entire time he's been gone that she did that. And so he was more susceptible or made that choice, even though she tried to give it back. So him coming back was, of course he did, because that's what I said, even though she was really worried that he wasn't going to come back. So she is going to say to Arena, of course I'm fine. He is just Cormac. We're good. Yeah, yeah. This is nothing.
Right then. Just down the trail, you'll see Muriel, who's, since she regenerates, she is not concerned about short rest at all. But as your short rest starts to end, she's kind of bouncing up and down like a boxer getting ready to come out of the corner between rounds and bouncing on the balls of her feet. And she's like, it's only about 15 minutes. Really close now.
Well, as we walk, I would love to ask you some questions. Is that okay? I will keep bouncing with you.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you can tell. I actually like talking. Not sure if you can tell that. As you all begin to walk again, Cormac, what is your feeling knowing that about 15 minutes for you was about 20 hours for them?
So, like, I think that I've been trying to sort of focus on some of the technical things, right? Obviously, certain stuff came up and had to say some of what happened, but it's like I don't know how to handle what is going on. So, like, he thinks he'll figure out, or it won't matter, the kind of magical reason for it, right? Magic does stuff. Kind of understands that. I think I had actually had a question. It was, I think it was Cormac wondering about our trip to the ethereal plane before, right? So the in terms of time dilation kind of stuff, right? So it's not like a completely foreign concept to him, but the bigger other things and the offer of power and all that stuff is worrying him more. So it's just kind of a focus on like, okay, let's get me up to speed on what has happened here, because that's the easiest thing to talk about. That's, I think, where he's at.
Just around the bend in the road as Muriel leads you, you see what looks like another one of those sort of 6-foot stone pillars. This one has sort of a circle of broken cobblestone around it. The others may have at one point. And there seems to be a carving on that too. Without looking at it, Muriel, as she walks by, just takes a couple steps towards it and kind of taps it with her hand and then continues on.
What was this?
What symbol is on it?
This is the carving of a wolf. It is over the same 3-pointed star. Go ahead, Gummer, and make a perception check. This is sight.
Yay. That is a 25.
All the other pillars you've seen have like moss and lichen growing on them, as would be natural. This one does not have any.
Muriel, why did you touch it right now?
I don't know. It's like good luck.
But
Or why did I touch it? Well, for whoever touches it, you should touch it too.
But everyone does it?
I mean, everyone I've seen does it. It's like, you just, I don't know if it works or not, but I'm not taking any chances.
Gummer touches it.
Okay. You touch it, feels like stone.
I mean, it, yeah. Yeah.
She'll smile at you.
I think in his head, Gummer's like, fucking Hicks.
You've been lucky, right? Like, it's like a
no, I feel like my hand is slightly rougher than it was 3 seconds ago.
You might need that. Maybe you're going to have to open something difficult. Anyway, let's go.
If anybody else wants to touch it, feel free. It feels like rock.
Oksana will touch it. And then, Muriel, I have questions for you. How would you like me to deliver these questions? Keep walking.
Walk and talk. Walk and talk.
Sounds great. You seem very... Yes. So, who are you?
I'm Muriel Vinshaw.
And what relationship are you? I'm Oksana, the cool one.
Hi.
What relationship did we discuss with Erwin and all of that, are you like distant cousin or?
I mean, we sort of think of ourselves like family, but it's more like a colleague, really.
A colleague.
Honestly, it would be kind of weird if you were my cousin.
So do you like there's a lot of weird things here. So do you what do you need to do at this winery?
I used to work there and happened to be gone when the bad stuff happened. I assume it's bad stuff. I don't have any idea what it is, but my friends have tried to fly over and check it out, and none of them have come back.
You used to work there?
Yeah, I used to work there.
And why did you stop working there?
Boy, it's an awful personal question. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Why do you walk around why do you have a mohawk?
I mean, if you must know, it kept my hair out of my eyes when I was mining.
Okay, well, having this job was cool for a while, and then it wasn't.
And who decided that it wasn't? Was it you, or was it the person in charge?
It's none of your business, Gummer. And she turns around. Keeps walking.
We trade one musician for another. Fun.
Should be really close now. Maybe like 10 minutes or so. We're getting there now.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you stand to gain from us going with the wine place with you?
Well, I mean, the people that are there, I want to make sure they're okay. Just because I don't work there anymore doesn't mean I don't like them anymore. They're really important to me. Sorry, sorry. Could you speak up a little bit in the back?
No.
It's hard to understand you when you mumble like that.
Did Erwin...
Sorry, Oksana, what'd you say?
Well, did Erwin say any context about what we'll find at how the winery runs?
He said that his shipment was late by a couple of weeks, that it never happened before, and he thought something was wrong.
So, Muriel, you said that you work there and that I would imagine you have very close or had a very close relationship with the, you say, family that run there, the winery.
Yeah, Martikovs.
Martikovs. Okay. I have heard this name before. I think so. So how long did you work for them?
Gosh. Most of my life. Maybe 15 years? Yeah, more than half my life I worked there. Girl's got to get out. Kind of flips her hair. Kind of the blue kind of moves from one side to the other.
So can we...
Just want to fly free,
Flying. So, have you observed anything about us? Are there more like you?
Well, yeah. Yeah. There's lots.
Like with the blue thing and the blue feather?
No, not the blue thing, but I assumed you meant the, like, being a person and turning into a bird thing.
No, like...
There's a bunch of us.
We have seen you were with Madame Eva.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was me.
Okay. So perhaps as we walk and talk, you can tell us everything you know about us.
Well, that's such a weird thing. Why would you want to know about yourself? Hey, I think we're getting there.
Anything we should know prior
as
to
you walk
being there?
the road, he just kind of looks back. He's like, come on. We talk later.
That's very ADHD.
A drizzle starts to fall. Slowly and eventually the trees clear, and there's sort of a meadow, mist shrouded, there's a split in the road. One path seems to continue west, and the other, there's a sign where it says winery, and it points to the west, as though to make sure you don't go there, as the path leads south into the deeper section of the forest. Muriel's like, it's this way. The drizzle starts to rain a little harder. Soon that trail takes you right through the center of a huge vineyard. mist and fog kind of swirls between the grapevines. It's pretty big. You sort of bend south through this kind of stately, pretty well-maintained 2-story building. To your left, as you approach, there's a stand of trees. And right outside the stand of trees, and it's starting to get pretty dark now, between the just getting dark and the rain clouds. And you see a figure right outside that copse of trees in a dark cloak, and he's sort of waving you like this.
You know who that is?
I think so. She'll put her hand on her short sword. She gets a little closer. Oh, yeah. That's Davian. Davian, he owns the place. Come on, let's go meet him. She quickens her pace a little bit. Gummer, now that you are walking and seeing these vineyards in a place where vines of this type ought not to grow, what are you thinking?
He is thinking of stopping for a moment to actually paw through the dirt and take a look at the fruit and maybe even test the tensile strength of a few of the vines.
Oksana can go with Muriel. Maybe we should split up momentarily.
We're within sight of each other. I'm not sure it's that big a deal.
Fair.
I'm sorry, to be clear, Luke, you said you were thinking about it. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, make a nature check, but with advantage.
$18.
18. The soil is all wrong. As you sort of feel up the vines, they feel normal, like grapevines. It does feel like they're kind of dried out. You feel as though these vines have just begun the process of dying. Whether that is a natural process taking place at a certain time of year or not, you don't know.
He tries to swipe one of the grapes, if there are any, and
Okay.
taste it.
You swipe one, it's pretty shriveled. You taste it. It's not rotten yet, but you wouldn't make this into wine.
What's your thinking, Gummer?
Still don't know how this works. I don't understand it. The soil's all wrong. There's no sun. It shouldn't sustain a crop, much less a crop that be drying out.
It's drying out.
We've seen stranger
even
things.
stranger.
I admit that, and I understand it, but there's a lot of stuff that just seems to be taken for granted here that I don't care for.
Well, I quite agree. It's why I asked. Seems it's even stranger you say that drying out, when I would have thought, I don't know too much about it, but I would have thought this was, if anything, too moist a condition for such vines. Yes, weird.
This is gonna, and I understand this may come out of left field.
Please.
Can he tell anything about the varietal? What kind of grape this is?
With an 18,
It's a cotton candy grape.
it's
Here's still good.
it's got some sweetness, and based on
Is it white or
both
red?
it's a dark purple. So as you
Okay.
bite it, it's not gone, but you can sort of think purple grape mash number 3, It seems like that's probably the swill is the wine that these are probably made out of. Purple grape mash seems a little on the nose, but it tastes right.
Sorry, you
From
were
the
saying
north,
something when I interrupted.
in the sky, you hear a somewhat familiar grating wooden screech.
No.
From the west, there's an answer. From the east, another. The figure you've been watching with the cloak sort of turns and he says, "Come on, let's go!" And he starts to kind of move a little faster towards you. It looks like he's headed for there's a little clearing in this copse of trees that he's headed for. Doesn't look like he can move very fast, though.
I'm going to make sure that the other four are in front of him.
As you all rush
trust
through the
this
tree.
Muriel?
Say it again.
You've all. I know. I just said, do we trust this Muriel? I know you've spent some time with her that I have not.
Erdwin vouches for her. I don't see why not.
I knew that as much, but all right. Let's follow. Don't run off.
The figure disappears behind a couple of trees. By the time you guys hit the clearing, you see that he's buried. For a second, it looks like he's buried like he's fallen in quicksand, and you can only see him from the waist up. But as you look, even in the dark, you can see there's very clearly a hatch, like a wooden hatch that he's climbed down into. It's like, come on, let's go. He'll leave the hatch open as he sort of disappears out of sight, seeming to climb down.
Is anybody else freezing? Is he freezing at all? For anybody other than me?
I'm actually having less problems than I was a few minutes ago, but
Okay,
it was
that's
some
fine.
problems, yeah.
We'll figure it out. Continue.
So Muriel will give you a nod and say, come on, let's go. And she'll go and she'll start climbing down. What are you guys doing?
Sure.
Oksana follows.
Irina, go. Silith, go.
Yeah.
Irina will go. Who would be coming through last, do you think?
Sounds like
I think Gummer would insist it being the heaviest armored of the group at this point.
So you climb down and you can hear Muriel from below like, man, I didn't know this was here. At first, you're in a narrow vertical tunnel. It's pretty tight. First, it's dirt, and then the dirt kind of turns to rock. Gummer, you would have closed the trap on your way down, probably. Yes?
Yeah, is there a bolt or something?
There is a leather tie, like a way to tie it shut like that.
We'll try and tie it shut.
I keep thinking about like
Really
Lost. Like John Locke and Lost. Like
Yes.
spend the whole series.
Or 8,
The
15,
play-
16, 20.
Oh my
42.
god, that was the best.
The play your own kind of music song is blaring from the cave.
There you go.
Um,
You see Desmond on the little stationary bike.
Aw.
All is well.
That was the best when they revealed that.
good old
Anyway.
Desmond.
Wait, you haven't seen it? Bro,
No.
let us educate.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh.
It is not BBC. You'll have to accept.
Just let the last season be the last season and let it go. You'll be fine.
I have a whole thing about how, even though I haven't watched it, I think it ushered in a lot of things I don't like about modern TV, but that's not for this time right now.
It could be true. That could be true. The rain and the thunder are now muffled. The thunder has come in, but it's pretty muffled. Climbing down about 20 feet, the tunnel will open into a small cavern. There are lanterns hanging. You can see crates and sacks along the wall. Looks like they're in pretty good condition. This is clearly a storage space that has been in use recently. You also notice, the arena's reached the bottom by now. As you look around, you see that there are bedrolls and blankets on the cavern floor. Xana, you've now come down and you're looking around. Also about half a dozen people in here. As Silith hits, she sort of... I wish there weren't people here. I do feel more comfortable. Let's just sort of walk away. Cormac, as you're hitting the ground, you see that there's a bunch of people here. There's two grown men leaned against the wall. They're obviously brothers. Make a perception check, Cormac.
Is this... Never mind.
19.
19. Both brothers, but especially the older one. Maybe it's the bald. Man, does he look like Erwin. Absolute spitting image of Erwin. And as you're looking around, lots of them seem to look pretty similar. There's a woman kneeling. There's two young boys, maybe 10 years old or so. There's a large bald man with dark skin. Beside her, he's holding an infant in his arms. There's another boy, a teenager, kind of sitting a few feet apart from them. His knees are against his chest. He's got a dagger in his right hand, and he's very anxiously kind of whittling a spike of wood. They're all looking directly at you. And Gummer, as you hit the ground, you stop. Because standing next to the man that looks like Erwin is your brother Murnar. As you're waiting for this to register, you blink. It's not Murnar, and it's just a guy, a human guy standing there. But it was so real.
You said that we had descended far enough that we had gone through stone. Is the floor stone?
It is.
Okay, he is going to activate his tremor sense. Knows the location of it touching the stone within 60 feet.
The crates and sacks, all of the people. It does appear that there's a tunnel. And you can, in that tunnel, you can feel a few of the droplets of water starting to come through that tunnel. Where you are seems pretty dry from the rain, but there is condensation in that tunnel, enough for drips of water to hit the stone.
This is going to be a very specific question. What condition was Murnar in?
He looked... His face seemed untouched. He looked, though, the look on his face was, as he stared at you, you realize they're all staring at you. When Murnar's staring at you, he had the look of betrayal that you have imagined him having were he around to look at you that way. And even now that it is not Murnar at all, the person you're looking at has that same look of betrayal. And he's looking at you guys as though you've done something wrong. Directly in front of you is the man in the cloak. He'll pull the cowl back. He's fairly old. His gray hair to his shoulders, some of it wet through the cloak, receding hairline. His face is lined and weathered. It's the skin of a man who spent most of his life outside, even in a place without much sunlight. And on his old cloak, which you can see seems very old, lots of holes in it, each shoulder is sort of decorated with these sort of clusters of what look like dark feathers, very wet from the rain. He has this cane that he'll lean against. He'll say, "Welcome back, Muriel. Good to see you well. Who have you brought here, and why?" Muriel will say, "Why are you asking me? They have voices." She'll walk away and she'll sort of kneel down with the family and sort of, embrace the woman, ruffle the kid's hair. She kind of, making faces at the baby.
I'm Oksana.
The old man turns. "Hi, Oksana. Why are you here?"
We were sent by Erwin to make sure everything was all right over here and make sure you were okay.
Erwin, the audacity of that lout. Davi and Martikov, it's my family. He'll point at literally going from oldest to youngest. Adrian, Elvir, the girl here, Stefania, it's her husband, Dag. Teenager is Claudio, the boys are Martin and Vigo, the baby is Lisabetta. Well, whether or not we need your help, and you do look capable. What has Erwin sent you here to do?
To check on you and then to make sure the winery is properly operating and for us to assist in that.
Well, the first is easy. You can see I'm fine. The second, there's a group of druids. It's a forum, we think. They invaded the wineries 4 days ago. They said they're sent here by the witch Babalai Saga. We put up what fight we could, but we were driven out, and we've been hiding here ever since. It's not just the druids. There's dozens of, how would you put it, malevolent plants. They seem to be created by the Gulfiest tree in Yester Hill. And they're here too. Even though it's miles away, the plants seem to follow the druids' orders completely. Also, there are large bird constructs, also created by the Swamp Witch, and they're patrolling our skies. There are no birds making it in or out of here. They're seeing to that. And before you ask, I've no idea why they're here, nor any reason that Babalai Saga cares about us at all.
From what I understand, above table, it's been 2 weeks that they haven't gotten shipments.
Erwin said it had been 2 weeks.
If these druids that came in about 4 days ago, how long has the other stuff been happening? I understand around 2 weeks.
You mean 2 weeks since they got a shipment in Balaki?
Since they became concerned, which I guess that would mean not the shipment.
Well, if I'm being honest, once in a while I slow down Erwin's shipments. Remind him of what he's done. This time, though, I sent a shipment to him a week ago. Obviously, you're saying it's not got there.
Do you have any idea?
I don't know what's happened to it.
You don't? Okay. What did he do? Sorry, it might be forward of me, but I have no found give a shit factor about other people other than myself, so something to think about other than, relations and things like this.
Tell you what Erwin did. Erwin betrayed this family with his stupidity, and then he lied about it. I told him to go and not come back. And he's gone. He's not come back. And I do it again.
He was part of the family, I take it.
Aye. My son. Third in line. Adrian, well, it was fourth. Now it's third. So Adrian and Elver are older. Stefania is younger.
He was.
Anyway, are you up to doing this druid thing? We need them all cleared out. If we clear the druids out, we can at least start trying to put things back together, although still missing a couple important things.
Will it help Erwin?
If Erwin wants shipments of wine, then yes, it'll help Erwin. Also, it'll help his brothers and sisters, who he might feel just fine about. I hope he does.
Does Oksana have a sense of how old the children are?
They're probably 10 or 11. They're twins now that you look closer.
Okay.
Twin boys.
Just observing.
So is that a yes then?
Oksana will look at the other two.
Irina will look at you guys.
Gummer is just staring into space.
Of course.
I imagine there's little other reason we came all this way than to deal with whatever we found. I do think perhaps it's sounds too much just my way of looking at things, but we should probably try to understand the answer to all those why questions he doesn't seem so concerned with. We've seen Babla Saga. I don't think this is going to end if we don't understand why it's happening, but
Maybe it's simpler than we give it credit for. Yesterhill's just a couple hours south of here. The forest folk have been miserable neighbors for years, and we've been happy to let them know it. Maybe this is as simple as revenge. And Babla Saga's helping them for, well, some reason or another. I've never met the witch.
Is there a way to assess the validity of the things that you are saying and not saying without engaging or committing to engage?
You can make an insight check.
15.
15. He's telling the truth, but you can feel that there's more that he's not saying.
If we help you, will you tell us more about the situation?
For Lathander's sake, I'll show you me whole damn ledger and tell you everything if you get rid of these druids.
Totally triggered. Oksana just stops talking.
Cormac is looking around to like, is anybody?
Yeah.
Stealth has like walked off to be alone.
To you, Cormac, as like the last person that's like.
They've spent some time away from me the past, I don't know, it's a day or two. I'm not sure where they're. I think they'll get on board.
Ah. Well, I'll brief you then. You can brief them once they're done whatever they're doing. All right, there's 4 druids at last count. There's dozens of these little plants. There's tiny twigs, big needle things, long vines, and up top, the needle things, but I don't know how many. I think the best way in is through that tunnel. He'll point to the tunnel that you heard the raindrops in. Outside, even if you could avoid the 3 construct birds, there might be 100 of these little needle plants, maybe more. And they'll have the outside secured. That tunnel is secret, though. None but us knows it's there, and it's how we got here without notice. And there's also a agreement for them not to go poking around in it. I'll get to that in a second. The most important. There's one druid, I suppose he's the leader. He's got some sort of strange magical staff. The staff seems to be what gives the plants their power. Honestly, probably the most important thing you can do is break in that staff. I don't know if it'll work, but might draw him dead. Might weaken him at least. From the ground, the teenage boy is probably 15, who's been whittling this spike, I'll say. It doesn't matter, they're going to die anyway. The woman stands. Claudio, you hush. Apologize to them. They're here to help us, show us some respect. The boy is right. You look to see if Bernard's face is going to come from this, or his voice is going to come from this face. It doesn't. It's that same look, though. No way they're strong enough to do this. These druids are Strahd's servants. The oldest. Elvir, these are here to help. It's entirely different from Elric. Don't you say his name! Davian, the leader. Quiet! All of you will not suffer any more disobedience in this family! Elvir will say. You're the one that drove Elric away just like you did Erwin. Spit on the ground. He'll spit on his heel. And he marches to a corner and just kind of puts his hands facing the wall. The woman, Stefania, and the older brother move to Davian, the old man's side. He's shaking, and they sort of whisper to him. You see that the boy who said it in the first place, the teenager, looks guilty, like he didn't mean for all this to happen. Muriel next to him is positively ashen and stone-faced and silent. The dark-skinned man, Stefania's husband, will walk up holding the infant. He'll say, sorry for my in-laws. Been pretty tense, as you might imagine. They really are good people if you get to know them. Said Erwin sent you.
Indeed.
How is he? Still with Danica?
Fine, I think.
Yeah.
It's all sorts of troubles in this land, of course, but operating the inn as well as can be expected.
It's good. Glad he's landed on his feet.
To us. Well, is there more than just this danger in being stuck down here to create this much discord in the family?
We're missing some things. I imagine Davian will get to it. It's not my place to tell you.
Perhaps I make it your place by asking. I'm not too concerned with what he wants you to tell us.
Well, 10 years ago, Erwin was here and he was keeping watch. And that something important was stolen. Erwin had some weird story about it. He'll say, Davian blamed Erwin. Anyway, they had a huge blow up. Next day, Erwin and Danica left. They've never been back. And 10 years ago is when, it's when the champagne stump stopped growing. We had to stop producing it. We had some we've let out over the years, but can't make any more. I might as well tell you, it's a gemstone stolen. It's a prized family heirloom. Is very important to Davian. We never did find it. Never did find who stole it. Erwin said what Erwin said. So Dag will finish and say, we can't make any more of that champagne. It's a shame. It's good.
Perhaps you said, and I, in all the disarray of the attitudes, I've forgotten, but is this stone magical in any way?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the gems what make the vines grow.
I was beginning to suspect as much, but I didn't know if you'd make it so clear.
So it's somewhere
There
near
were
here.
3.
There were 3. So if we had
1 left.
vines attacking us, that means there's at least one nearby. How far does it reach? Its influence.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if the gemstone's making the vines what attack. They grow the vines to make the wine.
Oh,
No, that the
gotcha.
vines attack sounds more like the druid with the stick.
Got you.
But
Misunderstanding.
we did have one's been lost 10 years. We lost the last one. Well, when the druids came.
They took it. Or
I
did
don't
miss it?
know.
4 days ago? When the druids came 4 days? Okay.
The druids, they must have it. I don't know what other explanation there could be. Stefania, the woman, will walk up and she'll take the baby. Thank you, Dag. And she'll say, look at the teenage boy and she'll say, I'm so sorry about Claudio. Eric was his favorite uncle, and after he died, Claudia's been depressed. Is the only word for it. Is, as you can see, he's got enough energy to lash out if he gets upset.
As far as I'm concerned, it's all right. And I suppose I understand. Sorry, my actual brain, and I forgot what I was going to say. I had a whole reaction to that is just gone. Sorry.
So...
Wait, the kid just said something. The 15-year-old just said something? Like apologizing?
The 15-year-old was the one who started this whole argument. The mom just apologized to you for what the kid said. And she said, since Elric died, he's been upset. Davian will walk up to you, sort of. I'm sorry for Elvir's behavior. Still a bit lost without his brother. Stefania will go. And I apologize for my own behavior as well. Are you? After you're still willing to go, I hope families will argue, of course.
What does Gummer look like right now?
Impassive, which I think he hardly ever does. I don't think he's stopped looking. Is it Elvar?
Elvir, and he's the one with his...
Elvir.
Yeah, and he's the one who...
I don't think he's stopped looking at him.
He was the one who spoke. Elvir, when the boy first said, they're all going to die, what does it matter? It was Elvir who said, he's right. They're Strahd's people. There's no chance. And then the older brother was like, hey, just because, Elric, and the brother yelled, don't you say his name. And then when Davian yelled at everyone to be quiet, Elvir said, you drove it just like you did Erwin. And then he turned to the corner. He's not turned around yet.
Yeah, I think that there's a definite uncharacteristic stillness to Gummer right now. He has come down the ladder. He planted his feet, saw Elvir, and has stared at him ever since.
Well, these are druids, so perhaps we ask our resident druid, Gummer. Are you?
What?
You missed all of this.
What?
Are you okay?
You're all right.
Yeah, my mind was elsewhere. Elvir looked, reminded me of someone. Yes, druids. You should try and get the staff, probably, and break it.
He normally has more things to say, so he's obviously pondering a lot to make sure that we do this job well done.
Davian will look at you, Gummer. He sort of follow your eyes to Elvir, and he'll say, Elvir look familiar to you?
For a moment, yes.
You come through the village of Barovia on your way here.
Yes, we all did.
Did you come before or after the rebellion?
After we saw the end, the punishment to the village, as it were.
I thought maybe you'd seen Elric if you'd been there earlier before, but if you're there after, you'd not have.
No. Just my mind. Through the tunnel, and what is it that's what is it that's keeping them out of the tunnel?
All right. So the tunnel's the best way in, but it's not without danger. That tunnel is filled all the way with brown mold. Works well to keep the wine cold, but it's not so well for breathing or touching. Now, there's a path through there, of course. We came here through it, so it is possible. You just want to stick to that path. And I mean dead center. Don't touch anything. Don't try to kill it. I'd not get anywhere near it. But if you walk through there, you'll come to there'll be a door. That's your way in.
Is it mold that is brown, or is there something that has a name called brown mold?
It has a name. Go ahead and make a... Let me see. What? Make a nature check.
14.
Brown mold is nasty, nasty stuff. You honestly wouldn't really want to get within an arm's length of it if you didn't have to. You also know that to burn it will not work. To freeze it might. But trying to burn brown mold is a great way to die.
He would make sure to say that.
If we can find a way to destroy it, is that all right? Do you need it for your future operations?
No. Future operations. I'm just trying to get through the next couple of days. If you need to destroy it, do what you must. Just do it carefully. And by the way, once you're through to the winery, the whole thing is made of wood. That means two things. Number one, don't be lighting shit on fire. The whole place will go up. Also, the wood reverberates, echoes, easy to hear a long way. The druids have the power of thunder magic. I don't know if you've been around it, but it is loud. If one of the druids you meet uses that thunder magic, there's no hiding. Everyone in every room will hear that, and they'll all come running. No fire.
Okay. Noted.
You said that there was one that had the staff.
Aye.
Where, I understand you're talking about people you don't know. If you were him, or her, I guess, where would you set up?
Whether the loading dock or the winch above it. It's right central. It's near the main doors. If anyone was ever to try to burst through from the outside, that's where you do it, I think. Also, if he's up on the winch, it's a decent view. There's a window there you can see outside. That's where I'd be. I'm not a crazy druid, though.
I'm going to ask this in character, but
Good.
No, sorry, go ahead. Just tell me if it's something I would totally have known and my brain has just failed. But like, did they already say? I was just asking, why are they in the winery? Do you know?
He says he doesn't know. He knows that the druids are from Yesterhill, which he said is a couple of miles south of here. He said that they're using the power of what he called a Gulthius tree, which is on top of that hill. He said maybe it's just that they're bad neighbors getting revenge. When pressed on it, though, Oksana pressed him a little, and he basically was like, I'll tell you everything, just take care of it first. So I'll say, I almost forgot. It's good news, finally, a little bit. There's a storage room in the northwest corner. In the winery, there's a hidden cache. I don't remember what's in it, but it's all yours. I'm assuming the druids haven't found it already. I think it's a couple of potions, maybe. Of course, it's yours if you find it. It's a storage room, northwest corner.
Thank you.
It's a storage room corner. There's a barrel. It's inside it.
Got it.
So I guess that's it then.
Above table, I don't want to harp on time because I know we're trying to not do that.
Mhm.
Are we going to have a long rest potentially, or no? This is just assuming we do this.
If we need
I would assume
freeze
not.
stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Then never mind.
I mean, you know.
I mean, I'm
it for me.
okay. I wasn't sure. I'm kind of curious.
I'm okay as well, but same thing that Luke Gummer there is saying. Like, I could maybe do more better freezing on another day, but not
You
right
could.
anyway.
I mean, you could ask.
Which means we just
Ask the guy.
be careful around the brown holes, I guess.
Well, maybe we should take and do this like in like 8 hours. Maybe we could stay here before we go.
Oh, sorry. You've been down here for 4 days. Why is there suddenly a deadline?
I'm going to let
Sorry, I didn't mean
Adrian
to
here
step
tell
on
you.
the joke.
Very fine. The oldest brother will walk and he'll say, I've been doing some... I've been sneaking up toward the house. Real careful, like, I've heard him talking. Something's going to happen at dawn tomorrow. They call it Winter Splinter. It's a stupid name, but they sounded really happy about it. It meant I was really unhappy about it. So, I mean, you know, of course, you're welcome to stay, but if you do, then whatever they're happy about will happen, and you have to deal with that as well.
Perhaps they have found the tunnel and they're preparing their own cold for tomorrow morning.
Perhaps.
Do you think they would want to come through to get you if they could?
I felt like it wasn't happening here. The way they talked about it, it didn't look like they were doing anything. They were talking about other people doing it. I can't remember. They said a name. I don't remember what it was. I think they're not making it here. I think they're making it somewhere else.
And how long could you all hold out here otherwise?
Davian will say, I mean, we have enough food here to last us another week at least. If we live through whatever Adrian's talking about. We're not fighters. Muriel's gonna walk to you and she's gonna say, if you guys decide to go, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna guard the families just in case. So, you guys got this. Totally.
Do we sense that she believes that we've got this and she doesn't want to guard the family out of necessity for her well-being?
Make an insight check.
23.
She believes you've got this. She is not being honest about why. At this point, you start to think, used to work here, doesn't work here anymore, won't say why. As soon as, the big fight happened, she went completely faced and silent, and now she's wanting to stay behind and to guard the family. You just feel like there's a bunch she's not saying. But she's not lying. She does think you can do it. She saw you fight.
Right. I guess the question is, do we want to wait or no?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going to remember names. You, the one who keeps sneaking up to look at them.
Adrian.
Do they follow a schedule? Do they fall asleep at a normal time?
I think they seem to go in. I don't know. I've only ever been able to see two of them. Those two seem to go in some sort of shift. One will be sort of look out, and then the other one will come and they'll talk for a bit, and then they'll sort of go back and forth. Well, I've not seen the other two at all. As far as the needle things, there's too many of them to discern any sort of pattern.
Well, let's at least look at this mold from the near end and see what it looks like we might be able to do, or how treacherous the path.
Okay.
All right. Davian will sort of stand down. Elvir will sort of look over his shoulder at you, and then look back towards the wall. Irina will say, "Are we going into the tunnel then?"
I
think so.
As
I feel like Gummer's brain. I'm sorry. I feel like Gummer's brain has
Please.
finally caught up with all the information. It's been kind of long enough.
Make a nature check. You have advantage on this. If you make it, I'll tell you why.
As a 19.
Gulthius tree is a legendary sort of thing. A lot of legends in the Sword Coast turn out to be true. They say that a Gulthius tree, the original Gulthius tree is said to grow where a vampire has been buried. But from a big Gulthius tree, you can take pieces and branches and make new ones. Between the words Gulthius tree and him describing it as on top of Yester Hill. The flashes of your dream. The dark tree on the hill, the one that reached towards you. You've never seen a Gulthius tree, but as you sort of get ready to head down the tunnel, Silith will look at you and she'll say, so is this what you call, is this how you make decisions? You talk amongst each other and come to some sort of consensus?
Totally.
Especially without Sam to just march off into danger and hope we follow.
Shall we go? She'll turn. Irina will kind of smirk at you as she walks by, and Silith and Irina will lead you into the tunnel, and we will see where the tunnel lets out next week when we come back. Hopefully having better connections. Hopefully.
I don't know. Oh, it's so these other actual plays, they're all in the same room. Frustrating. Because I don't want to have to...
Or they're paying for like crazy systems too.
This is totally relatable. I'm gonna stand on the side that everyone who plays online has shit like this happen all the time. And we're very high production value, but we're also
we'll figure it out.
No way to know except just to watch it, so we'll check it out.